Hi, this is Mrs. Sullivan, and today we're going to be making Spritz cookies. It's a classic holiday cookie, which requires flour, sugar. I use Crisco instead of butter, salt, milk, egg yolks, vanilla extract, and I use a little amaretto to give it a little extra flavor. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Okay. While our oven is preheating, we're going to start making our dough. First thing we're going to need is we're going to need 1.5 cups of sugar. The reason why we use sugar is because it adds sweetness and helps tenderize your recipe. So here we go.
So measure out 1.5 cups of sugar. Make sure you're leveling off with your straight edge or your cake decorating tool. I'm going to add this to my KitchenAid mixer.
And I made a 1/2 cup.
Once again, we're leveling off to make sure we have the correct measurement.
The next ingredient we're going to add is Crisco, which is our fat. The fat is what holds it all together. Very important. You could use butter, you could use Crisco, you could use coconut oil. There are different types of fats you could use. I prefer Crisco. It's my cooking go-to.
Now, Crisco does stick to the measuring cup, so what I use is I use a little bit of the crescent seal, and I actually wrap my measuring cup with the crescent seal so that it's clean and I don't have to worry about it getting messy. So we're also going to add 1.5 cups. I'm going to spoon that in and smush it down because it is a fat. We want to get an accurate measurement.
I'm going to add 1 3/4 cup, and then we're going to add another 3/4 cup to our batch.
We have our Crisco. We are leveling it off. And we're going to add it to our...
We're going to turn our bowl on, or I should say our mixer on. We're going to lift it up. I have a paddle attachment in there. It's the best one I use for this recipe. I'm going to mix it on low until we incorporate all of the ingredients.
Move it higher, get it going. Turn down a little. You want to combine the sugar and the fat together. Now I just simply take this off, and now I don't have any greasy residue on my measuring cup.
The next item we're going to measure out is our vanilla and our amaretto. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of each. Okay, we have our measuring spoon, we have our vanilla extract. I'm going to add that to our mixer. And once again, I use amaretto. It does cook off, but does add a really nice flavor as well. It adds flavor, it balances the other flavors, but it also adds moisture. That's why we're adding this. We're going to turn our mixer back on low. While that's mixing, I'm going to get my egg yolks prepared. Okay, we have our egg. We're going to take our bowl. We actually have 2 bowls, one for the egg yolks and one for the egg whites. I'm going to gently tap on the counter. I'm going to open up our egg.
And we're going to get our yolk all by itself into the next separate bowl. We're going to do it 2 more times, so you total of 3 eggs. Be careful not to get any yolk into the egg white in case you want to make meringues later. Egg yolk in a meringue will ruin it and will not make it fluff up nice. Alright.
So I have my egg yolks. They're all separated out. I'm going to add those in.
Mix it up a little bit faster. Please combine those egg yolks in until you see a wonderful yellow, rich, creamy texture.
I'm going to shut my mixer down for a minute. I'm going to scrape the sides of my bowl.
Grab a spatula, push the sides of my ingredients down to make sure that everything incorporates. I'm going to turn around a little bit to move that paddle attachment around. And I'm going to give it 1 more quick little mix before I add the rest of my ingredients. Alright, nice and smooth. Everything is blended.
Now I'm going to add in my flour. I have my measuring cup, my 1 cup. I need 3 cups of flour. Remember to fluff your flour. I'm going to gently add in tablespoon by tablespoon until I get a heaping cup full. And then I'm going to use my cake decorating tool, which is also used as a straight edge or a flat surface, which you could also use a butter knife to make sure that it is the appropriate amount of flour.
Add 1 in. We have 2 more to go. Tap, tap, tap. Level that up. Add 1 more. Total of 3. That was 2. We have 1 more to go. Level that off. And turn the mixer back on.
Now before I turn my mixer back on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of kosher
I
salt.
like to use a little bit heavy-handed on this kosher salt. It adds flavor and weight to your recipe. So I have my tablespoon. I'm going to add.
Okay, as you see, the dough is coming along nicely. It's a looser dough. It's not as dense as, say, a chocolate chip cookie dough. I'm going to scrape those sides once again with our...
Here's my spatula. I'm going to lower my machine. So I lower my machine down. I'm going to scrape those sides. Make sure all the ingredients are mixed well. This one does not contain a leavening agent, such as baking soda or baking powder. This is a very light, almost like buttery flavored cookie, without the butter, of course.
And then I have this. This is what we're going to make our cookies with. It is basically like a big hollow tube. You open it up by pulling this back. You unscrew.
I'm going to gently add my dough to this contraption. Doesn't make a difference if it's filled up all the way, but it is, you just have to fill it up less times. Otherwise, you just be doing it more often. For demonstration purposes, that should be good. I'm going to close it up. I'm going to push down any unwanted air or negative space. When we push down, we do that. I'm going to turn it so there are little teeth. So the teeth right here are towards the handle.
Then we're going to go over
To our baking sheet. Now I like to line my baking sheets with parchment paper. We have our parchment paper here. We're going to open up our parchment. About the size of the... Oh, and our oven is preheated. I'm going to place our parchment paper down.
Okay, now that we've laid our parchment paper down, we're going to use this to extract them onto the cookie sheet.
Gently press down, lift up, and then there's your cookie. Lift up, up. That one did not come out, it was a little bit smaller. You push down all the way, we'll put it back into our batch. Make sure you push all the way down and all the way up, and then you'll have your cookie. I'm going to continue pressing all these cookies onto my parchment paper. Oops, that one fell over, it's okay. We're going to do this until we have the entire sheet.
Okay, now that I have all of my cookies, as you can see on the sheet, I'm going to add a little bit of sprinkles to them.
So when they bake, the sprinkles will add some texture and some sweetness. Once we've decorated all the cookies with our sugar crystals, or our star nonpareils, I'm going to take these and to put it into my preheated oven for about 12 to 14 minutes until lightly golden brown on the edges. Okay, our timer's about to go off. We're going to check a little early to see if it is ready. All right, here we go. Oh, and they look like they're ready. We're going to take them out. Get your oven mitts. We're going to take them out of the oven. They're lightly golden brown. Here's our cooling rack. We're going to gently grab these cookies off of the tray. So here we have our cookies on our cooling rack, and now we're going to taste one. Look at the bottom. It's not too dark. Edges are just slightly browned. You don't want it to be too dark, otherwise it may not have the correct texture when you bite into it. Let's see how it tastes.
Crispy on the outside, a little chewy on the inside, a little sweetness, and a little bit of saltiness from that salt we added. Hope you enjoy.